Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I play the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. Our campaign is Massive Nyarlathotep. It was written by Larry DiTilio, Lynn Willis, Mike Mason, Lynn Hardy, Paul Fricker, and Scott Dorward, and it's available from Chaosium. Our game master is Morgan Llewellyn, and this is episode 38. Our recap will be given by myself as my character, Mandrake Turtleton. So without any further delay, let's continue our journey into the darkness. To Henry Armitage, Doctor of Letters and Head Librarian at Miskatonic University, Arkham, Massachusetts, United States of America. From Mr. Mandrake Turtleton, currently residing in the French Quarter within the city of Shanghai, China, on this, the 7th day of July, 1925. Dearest Henry, more bad news from the front. One of our newest comrades, Gabriel McCormick, has been killed by assailants unknown. It happened. Oh dear. This is not a very coherent presentation of the events. Forgive me, I'm quite upset. Let me start from the beginning. We started the day on July 6th, 1925, that's yesterday, with a number of investigations. Mr. Charles, together with Sterling and Sidney Edwards, went to the docks to survey that odd damage done to the Seamen's Club as reported in the paper. The damage to the docks was most unusual in that the pylons were not particularly worn with age and should have lasted much longer. Mr. Charles explained to us that at least 6 of them looked as if they had been cut or gouged by something from below. Sabotage? But to what purpose? One of those they interviewed insisted that 4-meter-high fish people were involved. Extraordinary. There have been rumors in many cultures of these fish people. You yourself have mentioned there may be some connection to those coastal peoples in your own neck of the woods. This could be fascinating. The younger Edwards then ascertained that Jack Brady had been staying at the club, but that he was lost in the accident. Our strong speculation is that these fish people were after Mr. Brady, who was either captured or managed to escape. Could this be a chain that links everything, the Carlyles, the Brady, Mr. Brady, with the bloated woman cult, who may be involved with fish people? Why else would the fish people assault Brady? It would seem that fate is against us in more ways than one, as I will explain shortly. While they were doing that, Mr. McCormick and I went to the Shanghai Courier, the city's largest newspaper, to see what we could learn about a woman, Madame Linian Wu. As it turns out, it's quite apropos that we use the term madam, as she owns a number of Sumo Genari Lumpinari. Apparently, she's quite successful and travels all over China, keeping an eye on her investments. I think there must be more respect for her and her profession, as she is considered a highly knowledgeable woman and has been recommended by the museum. I should also mention that we were being followed. There seems to be a mystery car with 2 or sometimes 3 Asian gentlemen in suits following us about town. We don't know with whom they are associated. My first guess would be Hypatia Masters, but if they wanted to get rid of us, they would have attacked by now. Maybe there are underworld factions here that are simply curious about our presence. Having acquired the information on Madame Yin Wu, Mr. McCormick brought me and his dog back to the house. I believe it was his intention to meet the fellows at the Stumbling Tiger Bar. Now, this next part I've pieced together from the testimony of my companions and from an article which appeared in this morning's paper. Eyewitnesses said that a European man, our Mr. McCormick, parked his car on the side street, then walked back to the mystery car, punched through a window and dragged one of the three fellows out into the ground. The other two men in the car leaped out and fired a number of shots into Mr. McCormick, killing him instantly. I am deeply upset, and the others are sure that Hypatia Masters is behind this. Whoever the mystery men are, you can believe that their leader has been informed that we are quite hostile. Our cover is blown. Quite frankly, as Mr. Charles put it, we may be fucked. I should mention also that the brave and fearless dog Achilles, being severely injured by the cat demon, sadly did not wake up this morning. Perhaps that's for the best. I don't know what we should do now. I suppose we never expected to survive this venture, so we may as well do our best to continue. We never know when the Grim Reaper will swing his scythe and cut us down. Best not to think on it too much. I cannot adequately express my gratitude to you for your support, the things that matter and the things that we hold dear. Thank you for your friendship. Keep up the good fight. Nos vigilantes semper, Mandrake.
All right, it is the morning of July 7th. This is Tuesday. You're all gathered together in the dining room of the small home that you live in here in Shanghai. What would you like to do?
That's what the newspaper said. I just wrote a letter to Henry concerning Mr. McCormick. I don't know why he did what he did, if the newspapers are correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
They might have been really on to him, and he might have been pushed into a corner. Not sure.
People said that the attack was his, though.
Wonder how many eyewitnesses corroborated that.
Hmm.
It doesn't sound likely.
Was in the middle of the day. There were
Yeah.
eyewitnesses, the newspaper said. Wasn't on a side street, or one of us will have to recover the vehicle.
Well,
That shouldn't be too hard.
no, and the thing is, the area where it happened, that is our next destination anyway. Or where we would like, where our leads lead us anyway.
Well,
But
it also bothers me, this whole fishy business.
yeah,
I don't know what to make of that. Something coming in that we didn't expect. You know, there are rumors that there are even these fish people living off the coast of Massachusetts. It's a long myth, rumor.
yes, I have come across these in my research before, but only tales. But I don't know. What do we do about poor Achilles here?
We'll have to. I don't see any way for us to.
Is there a back garden?
There is a small back garden.
I'll have to bury him back there.
Yeah. Well, I'll get started digging.
Yes.
Oh, it puts a very strong damper on us. I'm still trying to, perhaps to carry forward, we still need to contact a number of these flower girls. See if we can get an interview with Miss Linian Wu.
Yes. And we all our leads with Jack Brady lead to that bar, that area. That street is where I want to be, because that's where one of the incidents happened. And it so happens that the bar is on that same location.
Well, it would seem that Mr. Brady was a frequent person in the area.
Yeah.
Perhaps we should find out which flower girls are closest to the area, if you think that he might have indulged he seems like the kind of man that might.
Yes, and
So, looking up records to try to find these places is not that big of a problem.
Oh.
The Edwards have accumulated a number of maps and business entries, so say by the time George finishes burying Achilles, you discover that the closest flower girls are located on Lantern Street, and this is where the supposed murders took place that you saw in the newspaper. That is the closest establishment of that nature to the Stumbling Tiger Bar.
Well, though I'm fascinated by the whole thing, I think that I'm probably least qualified for the Flower Girls.
you know who would have been perfect for it?
Yeah, let's not bring him up anymore.
Yes.
It's too soon.
So sorry, I get a bit ahead of. Father will say that I get ahead of myself.
It's all right, son. I miss him too.
Yes. But
Here, let me take a look at that. Let me take a look at them papers. Do any of them say where the murders were? Just generally on that street.
So, looking at the newspaper article again, in this Flower Girl house, there was a murder that took place, and it was in an upper room.
Okay.
The only witness said that the murderer was a giant bat.
Is that one of the Flower Girls as the witness?
Presumably, given the nature of the establishment.
Giant bat-like creature.
And were there any other murders on Lantern Street?
Other than the one that occurred last night, no.
Okay.
So it's just a matter of asking around. You'll eventually get to the heart of the situation.
yes, and
There were witnesses to the bat creatures, weren't there? Wasn't it saying that story in the newspaper article?
yes.
Right,
And
but not
Apparently
exactly
a
who they
witness.
Hey George, how are you? You might be a perfect candidate for the Flower Girls.
Oh, well, if they like. Well, I suppose their taste doesn't come into the matter, does it?
Well, I believe that there are different kinds of flower girls, as it was explained to me.
Yeah.
That I mean, some of them just spend some time with you. Some sing, some dance. You know, it's
Yes.
it's some of them that are prostitutes.
Yes, I do know that some older men, especially here, they use them for company, just to keep so as you said, someone to talk to,
Right.
someone to
I
help.
believe they usually are highly educated, oddly enough, because they need to be able to keep up a conversation. So it might be quite interesting.
Yes,
But I do believe that in any case, you're going to have some money.
Right.
well, me and Father can
Yeah,
help with the money, and
yeah. And I understand from what you said before the expedition, Fox mentioned that there was some money left for this.
Yeah, I think that we've got that available to us. We not only had Fox's money originally, but we also had the Prospero House's money. And we've been spending, Fox didn't spend any of Prospero's money. He spent all of his own. So we've still got we're fine financially. I was thinking perhaps if you handle that end of it, I'd like to do a little more research into the fish people. I find that fascinating, see what the history of the fish people in this area is.
That does seem new and exciting compared to what we've heard of previously.
Well, I'm going to do it mostly in the library and so forth. I don't intend to go
Well,
down to the
just
docks and
thinking on
and diddle my feet in the water.
thinking, yeah.
And see what happens.
Well, if you want fishing tips, I can give you them. But I'm just thinking, this is the first time any sort of aquatic shenanigans have come up with this venture.
But we're in a
I
port city.
don't remember reading
so-
anything from Fox's group about fish people,
No, it's
fish
the
monsters.
first time this has come up. And I mean, it's maybe just men in suits
Maybe.
using
Well,
local
I
legends.
also
to scare
know there's
people.
what is it? Some kind of groper around these parts. They get pretty big.
Yes, but they probably don't claw down buildings. But then who knows? It also said the men were drunk.
You can all give the Cthulhu Mythos rolls.
08. And I've got 34. I can spend 2 luck points to make it an extreme.
I ain't got no mythos.
71 not.
Well, if you want to get that extreme, Mandrake.
I will.
Yeah, now that you're talking about it, you're aware, as you mentioned in your letter to Dr. Armitage, there is a community in Massachusetts that goes by the name of Innsmouth. They are reported, there are some rumors of some kind of, they have like
People
the
have
Innsmouth look. They have a sort of
buggy
fish-like
eyes,
look,
yes.
but there are references in these kind of forbidden, restricted books and throughout different cultures around the world of these things called deep ones. That live under the water. They're immortal. They live, unless they're killed, they live forever, and they can grow to extraordinary sizes.
Yes. But it all fits the
myth
mythology.
cycles that you've heard and that you've read and that you picked up on.
But if one wants to believe any of it, I mean, I for one would love to meet a fish person. It's just as long as they weren't hostile, but these seem to be hostile, if they're hostile at all. I'm not saying that I believe they exist. I still think it's most likely a human being in a costume that's trying to use the local legends to frighten the people. After all, you've got your drunk people talking about giant fish people, not about men attacking Brady's residence.
Yes. Well, we'll have to see. There's been 3 separate attacks that we know of. One involving fire, one involving a bat, one involving fish people. 3 different.
We need to find out what's the why. Why them? Were these people that Brady met? And they're trying to find Brady?
But Brady is the key. We need to find Brady.
Yeah.
And we need to find out. We need to locate him. And the bar and the street is our next lead. Obviously, we've got the madam, who we definitely need to speak to. But
Yes, I would like to speak to her, Madam Lin Yen Wu.
yes,
But she might not even be in this part of the country.
well, maybe that's something we can look into, and possibly you can look further into, Mandrake.
I'll see what I can find. All right.
But
I should be safe enough in the library by myself.
yes.
Well, Mandrake's going to go to a library. What are the other 3 of you going to do?
Well, Father George, shall we head to the bar?
That's probably a good bet. Good direction. We could.
No
Suppose we can.
drinking. No drinking, Father.
I'll keep it light, just light.
Okay, so we'll start with Mandrake. Real quick. You are looking specifically for
legends about fish people.
People. Okay, give me a library use. Combine library use and a Chinese language skill.
Okay. Well, I've got 21. Do I just roll both of them or together?
Whichever one is lower is the one that you need.
Chinese language. Okay. So in that case, Chinese is 35 and I got a 21.
Okay, perfect. So you are able to, because they're not in English, going through the library, there are reportedly out on little islands, there are, ancient tales of fishmen that commune with sailors on certain nights. You can find literature about stories of fishermen that, give little charms or bracelets to these things in return for better fishing. You can find things of where they've given people to these fish, the marriages and things. There are a variety of stories that involve
similarities to all of the other myths around the world, including Innsmouth.
Right.
Any association with, was it Grey Dragon Island?
Grey Dragon Island is in the vicinity of where these fish people supposedly are. There are lots of little islands in that area. Grey Dragon Island.
Green Dragon Island. What do I find anything on what is on Green Dragon Island?
So it is Grey Dragon Island.
Oh, okay.
What you can find there in the library is simple enough. The place is small. It's no more than a mile square, less than that.
Are people living on it?
No, it is uninhabited. Most of it is taken up by a volcano. That is semi-active. It spouts ash into the air from time to time. Maybe every couple of years, it plumes. That's where it kind of gets its name from.
I was just wondering if maybe
but whaling more recently, ships. You look at nautical maps and things, and as far as places where people go in storms, they don't ever go to that island. It's avoided.
Yeah. Or maybe there's just no reason to go there.
People, in this folklore that people think that it's cursed, so they don't go there.
And then I completely forgot of this until you just said whaling, but there's also a ship that we had a picture of.
Yes.
Looking for my notes. What was the name of that ship?
Whole.
I wrote it down.
You don't have crystal clear memory from the New York chapter?
Well, I wasn't there. I've just been told. But anyways, that'll be my next thing then. I'm going to find out what that ship is and see if it's registered somewhere and where it's going. And I might as well just wander down to the docks.
I will pull that up again if you'd like. Just give me a second.
The ship is called the Nyarlathotep.
This might be easier. So you see a ship. Now that you're here, you recognize the skyline behind it as Shanghai.
Uh-huh.
And you can just make out the letters on the front of the ship, DAR. But the rest of the name is cut off by another ship in the picture.
All right, so that will be my research. I will see if I can go to the shipmaster and find a ship that begins with the letters DAR. That'll take me a while.
All right, and the other three of you head into the Stumbling Tiger bar. So this place, you open the doors and just the smell of stale cigarettes and of spilt alcohol just waft from the interior. This place, it's dimly lit. The curtains are mostly drawn down, so not a lot of sunlight's coming in. The walls are decorated with little bits of artwork. You have pictures of people generally don't recognize, but just portraits and snapshots of about. There's the different seating areas are kind of they're separated by little thin papers that have floral decorations on them. The only two people inside are sitting at the main counter. One of them is cleaning some glasses, and one's set on the far corner, kind of nursing a drink. And the man behind the counter turns to you and he says, "Oh, please, come take a seat."
Thank you. Yoma.
Thank you.
Taking a glance over to the person nursing the drink, they don't happen to look like the picture we have of Brady by any chance, do they?
They don't. The person at the end of the bar, they're dressed in like a workman's like work clothes, very dirty, ragged, and they're looking down. The time you spent here, they're Japanese.
Okay.
So it's and they're not really paying you any mind. They're off by themselves. And so the person says, "What can I get you all to drink?"
What time is it?
We'll say by the time it's maybe 3 p.m.
All right.
You spent the morning and early afternoon burying Achilles and gathering, looking through maps and things.
Oh, I'll have a bourbon. I do a quick look to my son and say, just one.
Yes, and he is not to have any more. And I said in a Chinese, but maybe in a way, because I know that Sterling only speaks Mandarin, I think. So I'll speak in Wu, which is Shanghai, which he might know or should know, I suppose.
Well, he responds to your Chinese in English, and he's saying, "I think a man should be able to drink however much he wants." Just my opinion.
I was speaking English. It's my father. He gets a bit. He needs to hold his liquor a bit.
I know, Sydney. Just one. Just keeping it there.
Just what we need. Your mind in full working order, Father. You're a smart man, and we need you.
Keeps the gears lubricated.
It does something, that's for sure.
For you?
Well, I don't want to seem cliched, but do you have any tea?
Oh, yes.
All right.
Give you some tea. It's no trouble at all.
Oh,
something herbal, please.
Yes, I would like herbal tea.
It's a little early in the day.
All right, so he pours a shot of bourbon for Sterling.
Slide a nice tip across the table to him.
Yeah, it's given that it's imported, it's a bit more expensive than it would be otherwise. And the tea makes the tea. It's pretty good. And he just leaves the teapot between the two of you.
Yeah, I tip him as well. I give him a nice tip. So.
He says, "So, what brings you all to Shanghai?"
Well, I'm a researcher anyway, and I research into history and folklore and things like that. My father's an author. I'm helping him research for a new book of his, trying to get inspiration, and Shanghai is the perfect place for that. But we're also here. We're actually looking for someone. He has some information for my father's book, but we haven't been able to locate him. But we know he may have frequented here.
Oh, well, does this person have a name?
Sorry, I get a bit ahead of myself, and I don't start with the basics. Jack Brady.
Jack Brady. Well, I have so many people come through here. It's a little hard to keep your memory straight.
I take out. Let's see. At that time,
this tea is pretty good.
It's pretty good tea.
I tip him again, and a significantly larger tip, and slide it.
So he takes it.
I add to it.
Comes through, and he's like, yes, Brady. I haven't seen him for a while. Yeah, he used to come here.
Can I psychology roll that? I want to psychology.
Right, yeah, you can roll a psych roll. It's like, I haven't seen him in a while. I'm a little worried that he might even have left Shanghai.
91 is not going to cut that. Fuck.
I would like to press into this too, because this is.
Well, when's the last time you saw him? He hasn't responded to any correspondence.
Well, it's been a few months.
Okay. I can spend 9 points of luck to make that a success.
On psychology?
On psychology, yeah. I'm going to do it because we need to get a break here.
All right,
yeah.
So we'll leave your psychology roll for a moment, but he kind of he glances over at the person at the end of the counter and he kind of leans in a bit closer, kind of keeps his voice down. He's like, "Look, all right, I heard that he went down to Rangoon to carry out a deal with this Charlie Gray, all right? He's big money man, and he's been making some kind of deal. I think it has to do with guns. The people, the gangs of the city, they're always hungry for guns. And you're examining him, Sterling, and you're kind of sipping at your bourbon, and you get the feeling that it's hard to tell. It's like he's lying to you, but how exactly, you're not sure. It's like he's leaving something out.
Oh, like he could be either trying to lead us astray, or I wonder if he's a friend of Brady and he's trying to cover for him because he doesn't really know who we are.
Huh. Now, how do you get into a business like that?
Well, people like me were better off not knowing things like that.
I can definitely understand that. These gentlemen might need to look for other sources.
Yeah, we would be. If you happen to ever run into him, I mean, he could meet us on his own accord. We'd really appreciate it if you could get that message to him. I'd really make it worth your while. And
well, Mr. Jack Brady is generally, when he meets people, he does it on his terms.
Yeah, I totally understand. It's not the safest of worlds.
Well, look, I mean, if I see him, I'll tell him he stopped by.
Yeah,
your name was?
Sterling Edwards. Actually, I know I was good friends of Jackson Elias. He might have mentioned me. Maybe.
Yes.
He kind of raises an eyebrow. He doesn't. I'm sorry. I don't know who that is.
Brady. If you see Brady should know who Elias is, and me and my father are good friends. Well, we're good friends with Elias.
Fair enough.
It might sow a bit of trust, because I gather by a bit of research that we have been doing in trying to locate Brady, everywhere there seems to be accidents happening or occurrences. So, if you could just let him know that we were here, if you see him.
Most certainly. And hey, if you haven't, anybody else looking for a drink, I'd appreciate it if you sent him my way.
No, we will. And I'll be back. I really like your tea.
Oh, well, thank you.
Some more.
Yep.
Yes.
It's kind of quiet in here.
Well, you're here a little earlier than...
A little, yeah. Around what time does this place start picking up?
Oh, well, as soon as the sun goes down.
That makes sense.
We might have to come back. Might have to come back later. We've a couple of our friends.
Well, I mean, if you're coming back later, coming back here time and time again looking for this Jack Brady. As I said, he's not going to be here.
Oh, we want more tea. I might come back for some late night tea.
I could certainly help you with that.
Yes. Well, we should drink. We should drink up and leave you be.
How's your?
Well,
how's your
this still
stay been?
has. Oh, our stay's been all right.
Yes, I've been here a few months. My father a couple less months than I. Our friend George here's been here. What, a couple of days?
Few days, yeah. Nice place. Busy. A little rough around the edges.
You could say that. It's certainly one way to put it.
Well, once you get enough people around any sort of place, you end up with rough edges.
Did you hear about actually we saw in the newspaper about a European got shot just not that far away?
Yeah, just right down the street. Had people coming in afterwards, for a drink. They said that they were just in one of those shops over there, and they just saw this guy walk up to this car and bust the window in, dragged the guy out, completely attacked him, unprovoked. It was paid for it with his life. I didn't give him anything to drink.
Yeah. Do you happen to know who was attacked? Did they come in after it, or did they just leave?
No, I don't know who it was.
Yeah, I wonder who it was that shot him. I wonder, maybe was it plainclothes police officers, or?
Yeah. I mean, there's plenty of dangerous people in this place, Yeah.
How well did you know Mr. Brady?
Oh, I consider him a friend.
Okay. Well, if you consider him a friend, we can, I guess, consider you a friend. But Here's a question, and I'll lean in because if that guy's at the end of the barn, he was leaning in to tell us things. I'll lean in. So we've been having, I don't know, it might just be us in our imagination, but we seem to be getting followed quite a bit.
Followed?
Yes. Yeah, every time free men in suits. It's why I asked about the European. It kind of fit that description.
Well, I mean, there's plenty. As I said, there's so many people here. If I would need a little bit more information that to narrow it down. Is there any reason why somebody would want to follow you?
No, me and my father have had nothing like this happen since while we were here, but as soon as our other friends arrived and we started doing a bit more research and trying to find Brady and looking into incidents which turned out to be locations where Brady had been, we seemingly are getting followed. And maybe if you know any more about Brady, if he's been in trouble or anything like that, it could help us, because if a European has been shot, we could also, by whatever occurred, we could also be in danger. And that means Brady could be in danger. Everywhere we've been so far, we've linked to
feeling
Brady.
a little guilt by association here?
Yes.
That seems like
I'm certain we're not. Whatever happened last night, I'm certain we're entirely different and not related.
It looks at you all. You give me persuades.
here will be the rest of my luck.
Oh,
37. This is close.
Oh, I will spend 2 luck to pass.
Would it help if I passed too?
Just one of you needs to pass.
Okay.
So, look. There are some particularly bad people after this friend of yours. All right, and if you've been haunting around where he's been and where they've been looking for him, I mean, they could probably piece together that you're associated.
Yeah. Damn.
And look, if you if it's not entirely clear to you who you're dealing with, I mean, they killed somebody just outside.
Okay.
If those are the same people.
If just
We have a suspicion they might have done things to that expedition that Brady was with.
Look, I don't know anything about people from an expedition, but
do you know anywhere else Brady has been at all? Do you?
I told you.
Leave the man be. Let's just finish our drinks.
But look.
Thank you for your time.
If you want to do me a favor as a friend,
Yes.
we never had this conversation.
Likewise.
Understood.
Duly noted.
And if you ever hear the name Ho Fang, run.
Ho Fang. Run.
Okay. Thank you.
Right.
I don't think I caught your name.
Bartender.
Yeah,
Sure.
I'm fine.
A friend.
Okay.
Thank you, friend. Okay.
And we'll thank you, and we'll be on our way, gentlemen.
Okay. Well, stepping out, I look across the
Y'all are
street.
about as subtle as a boot to the face.
You're looking for. You don't see a car. That's what you're looking for.
Yeah, because then I remember that. That's right. We hot-wired it and drove it back.
Hmm.
I knew I should have had only 4 instead of 5.
Yes, I do not do subtlety, Mr. Kraus. I'm a researcher.
I know, that's all right.
I want to get
Just
the facts.
just keep that in mind next we're in a little bit more hostile locations.
Well, yes, that's why I leave those kinds of situations to my father. He's a bit more certain.
Well,
All right, let's see where we can find. Should we?
I wonder if there's is there a phone book we can look up this Mr. Fang?
Ho Fang, the one he just said. If we ever hear the name, run.
So
Well,
looking
I'm
at
wondering. I'm wondering if there's a we don't have any context to that name. We could look it up in a phone book, see what he does.
Yeah.
At least where he lives.
So you could do that. That's quite easy. Ho Fang is a businessman.
How many Ho Fangs are there?
I was just thinking that. 312.
More like 550.
Ones who have phones.
Okay.
Okay.
There's Ho Fang, who is a well-established businessman who lives in the French concession.
Yeah, that sounds like our guy.
Yep.
Or at least he checks off some boxes.
Should we be looking into questioning some flower girls?
Yes, because we should, like the other two incidents,
we might.
We should try to learn about the night of the incident.
Yeah.
Because they've been helping us with the footsteps of Jack Brady. We've been learning piece by piece.
What was it? What type of businessman did it indicate in there? Like
I was just about to ask.
import,
Shipping.
Oh,
Shipping. Shipping hasn't that been a theme?
yeah. International shipping. Yeah, that makes sense. These jokers are all over the place. This ties it together.
So, is it a reasonable assumption to say this Ho Fang is the big figure in this area? Could we link him, do you think, to our cult business?
Yeah, could be, especially if the bartender's seemingly friends of Brady, and is warning us to beware of him.
Yes.
Right.
But then we've got the madam as well.
Yep. Well, we might be able to saunter in there under the pretext of looking into the quote unquote bat person or bat thing.
Yes.
It could be.
Y'all are folklorists, right? Writers, researchers,
It could be
interested
part
in
of,
that sort of eclectic, what have you.
it would be perfect. I could be writing a book on it,
Yeah.
and Sydney, you could be researching it. This could be a perfect, plausible avenue of approach. Good idea,
Yes.
George.
It's fantastic.
Reasonably benign. And if that reasonably benign thing sets someone off, that also gives us clues.
Very true, Mr. Charles.
Yep.
All right, so where are you three off to next?
I think we'll saunter down the street
To
and
the
go find us some delightful company.
Okay, so we're gonna flip back quickly to Mandrake then. So you were heading down to the river docks.
Oh, yes. I want to tell. There's a name for the guy who's in charge of the shipping dock area. I want to ask him if I tell him that I'm looking for a particular ship that was involved in a legal action of a number of years ago, and that it starts with DAR, and I'm just not sure what the name of the ship is. So that's all the information that I'm looking for.
Did you bring a photo of the ship with you?
Well, I can. I was just hoping his manifest would have a list of all the ships. But yes, I can show him that DAR.
Okay, with a picture, a little bit of talking, and then a little bit of money. He informs you that this ship is called the Dark Mistress.
Dark Mistress?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Where does it where does it come from?
Well, it's from England.
England.
It flies the Union Jack as its colors.
Okay. And does it have an owner or a
Alfred Penhurst.
You mean Penhue or Penhurst?
Penhurst.
Oh, so it's not Penhue. Okay. Well, that's all that I need from him. I will. Does it perhaps show how often it comes back and forth?
Frequently.
So it's basically going back and forth and back and forth. I wonder what.
Well, it comes in, leaves. It doesn't.
And what's usually well, it might not say what the cargo is, but does it say what the cargo is?
Generally, he tells you that they load up all sorts of things. Generally, food, fresh water, quite a bit of it, and then things like hammers, nails, saws, building
General
materials.
warehouse. Yeah. Okay. I guess that's all I need. Thank you very much. And I start walking back to the house.
Okay. The other three, you go to the Flower Girl house on Lantern Street. You knock on the door, and two young women answer the door. They say, "Good afternoon. How may we be of service?"
Howdy. I'm with these two gentlemen. They're they're nerds, looking into nerd stuff. They might ask some questions, but do you have Do you have a conversational young thing who lacks, say, structural engineering?
What they look between each other, and
I give him a cheeky wink.
they say yes in English. They look a little bewildered, though.
All right, delightful. Do they move to let us in, or?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
They bring you into this front room that there are kind of curtains hung all about the room, and there's like this kind of lavish seating area. And so there's the two of them that let you in. You see there's about 3 more lounging in this room. And then there's 5 of them, and then there's a 6th person who's a much older woman. Who she kind of has a very stern look on her face, but when she sees you walk in through the door, she kind of brightens up. And she gets up and she walks over and she says, yes, how can my girls be of service to you today, gentlemen?
Well, I'm mainly looking to have a stimulating conversation.
Oh, well, most certainly we can arrange that.
Unfortunately, I don't speak the local language.
Oh, well, we have some who are fairly conversant in English.
All right, I'm sure that'll work just fine.
And she says, Jade, please accompany this young man. And so one of the girls who greeted you at the door kind of takes you by the arm and leads you kind of through the curtains and into a side room. And she looks at you two.
Oh, sorry, I didn't even realize I'd entered the building. I was caught up here. I am Sydney Edwards, and this is my father, Sterling Edwards. I'm a researcher into history and folklore, and my father is an author, and we have been interested in the local tale of a bat that seemingly appears and disappears in Shanghai, and we know that a sighting was occurred around here, and was wondering if we could get some insight.
We'd happily, for have a conversation. Had to be a conversational engagement would be lovely.
And she says, the girl who saw this bat is no longer here.
No.
She's in the hospital.
Oh no! I'm terribly sorry to hear that.
Okay.
Is she doing all right?
Yes.
She said, well, it's not much of my concern at the moment. Her mind's mostly gone.
You mean she's gone crazy, or? To put it plainly, anyway.
I don't know. And she's like getting a little.
Okay. Yes, I sorry.
Well, did you come here to talk to me, or what?
Well, I'm not. No, I'm not into this kind of stuff. But my father would surely benefit from one of your flower girls.
Well, then we can arrange something for him, and then she gestures towards the door.
I leave some. Sydney was going to end up outside anyway. He wasn't going to stay. he gives her a little bit of money anyway for her a little bit of information about very little information. He shouldn't really give her any money because it was bare minimum, but he will give her some money.
Well, you start to try to hand her money, and she's getting a little like.
It's for
only
your
making her
time.
angrier.
It's for your time, Father. I'm disappeared. Thank you. I bow.
It's all right, Sydney. I'll see you a little later.
And he just goes back to his diary. And now he's going to draw an angry Chinese woman.
All right, and so Sterling, the other girl who greeted you at the door.
Yeah, if anyone that knew that lady would be wonderful to chat with, or around at that time would be wonderful. About a variety of subjects would be great.
And she whispers to you. She's like, "It's best not to anger Auntie. But if you're curious about the bat, I can show you where it happened."
I would appreciate that, and I'll also happily,
All right, so
definitely make this worth your while. Thank you so much. I say that in a hushed voice.
So she starts leading you upstairs. George. The girl you're with, she kind of gestures for you to sit down. She asks, "Would you like some tea?"
Oh, certainly. What kind do you have?
What kind do we not have?
Well, I'm a fan of chamomile.
Certainly. I'll be one moment. And she leaves. You hear a bit of raised voices in the other room for a bit. And then she returns with a pot of tea.
Ah, thank you. Tell me a bit about yourself, Jade.
She tells you a little bit about herself. She's lived in Shanghai all her life. She loves. She's always dreamed of seeing the world. And she kind of segues, all these places that she would love to visit. And she asks where you're from.
Oh, I'm from the United States. I'm sure you gathered. Southwest.
The Southwest.
Yep.
Most of the people, most Americans here are from big cities. Are you from a big city?
Oh, not so much. It's only a couple thousand people now. Getting bigger every year, though. I might have to move.
Do you like it there?
To an extent. Weather's a bit hot.
Do you travel often?
Well, last time I was out of the country, I was in France a couple years ago. Not much
France.
of not much of a vacation, if you can imagine.
The war there, yes.
Yep.
A lot of people coming through here.
Right. I hear rumor that your sort of business. You're a little bit more educated than your standard Western type, right?
And she said, I know a lot of things.
Oh. Where did you go to school?
Well, here she kind of like gestures around.
Oh, they provide your education here? Well, that's fun.
But yes, I've lived
Vertical
here since I
vertical
was a
integration.
girl.
Vertical integration. That's efficient. How long do you want to vamp this?
I'm waiting for you. Are you gonna just keep this up? Or are you gonna ask her anything about?
Eventually, yeah. I'll ask her.
So I mean, as the conversation goes, she tells like she's lived at this house since she was a child. So, and she, talks about how, she had friends, and then sometimes they get moved to a different house. So they get shuffled around a bit, but she hasn't moved she hasn't been moved yet.
Awful. Does she know anything about? Yes. Yeah. Does she know anything about what happened with the deaths? Either yesterday or the weeks before?
She heard about the death that happened yesterday. She doesn't know anything about that, other than some gangsters shot a European. As far as the bat incident, she says it was quite sad. She didn't see the bat, but she says, poor Joy. She was the one who saw it, and she's at the in the hospital. But the girl who died was new to the house, and she took over the room that was owned by, or that was used by Choi Mi Ling. Was her name? She was sold to another house because Auntie was displeased with her. And a little bit after that happened, the deaths happened.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, there was a before Choi Mi Ling left, there was an American here, just like you.
Really? Big guy, kind of strapping.
Yeah, he was big. He was very big, very strong, very serious man. But he stayed with Choi Mi Ling, and Auntie didn't like him staying around so long without paying for her time.
I see. Well, tell me, what do you know about fishing?
Oh, fishing. There's a lot of fishing that goes on.
We'll segue.
So she starts talking all about fishing on the river. Sterling leads you upstairs, and she she's like glancing over her shoulder, but she opens up this room, and you can see that up towards like the roof has been caved in. All the furniture in here is smashed, and there is blood splattered everywhere. There is dried blood on the floor, the walls, the ceiling.
Still, my God. Did you know that girl, Joy, or the one that died well, or at all even?
So she gives you very similar information that George got. So Joy's the only one who saw it. She's at the hospital. The girl who died was fairly recent because she was a replacement for Cho Mi Ling, who was sent away.
Now she was the only one that saw it, Joy, but were there sounds? Did anyone hear anything?
Oh, it was most horrible. The screaming. There were lots of screaming.
But just people screaming. Yeah, okay, that's terrible. I'm so sorry you had to go through that. Does the name Jack Brady at all ring a bell? Does He'd be sort of European descent.
The American.
Yeah, the American, I guess.
He was with Choi Mi-ling before she was sent away.
And I described Jack Brady a bit more to verify.
She nods.
Okay, all right. And he was with Joy, and Joy's the one that's in the hospital.
No.
Okay, Joy was the one that was. Okay.
Joy was the one who saw the bat.
Got it. Yeah.
So she's saying that the girl who used to use this room.
Yeah.
Where the attack happened. His name was Choi Mi-ling.
Choi Mi-ling, yeah, okay.
And she was sent away before the attack occurred.
Got it, Choi Mi-ling.
So she was sold to another Flower Girl house. Another girl was purchased to replace her by Auntie.
Got it.
And she had somebody with her in this room, and some horrible thing occurred. Joy saw whatever it was.
Yeah. You don't happen to know the name of that other Flower Girl house by any chance, would you? And I'll slip her like a little folder with some more cash. This is just for you.
So she tells you that she gives you an address.
Ooh, an address. Nice.
140 Lantern Street. So it's not far from here.
Thank you so much. And then I'll carry on, small talk and such.
Yep, and so you chat with her for a little bit. You find this out. George, your conversation, you kind of bring it to a close after talking about fishing. And after you leave, that old woman is very emphatically shuts the door behind you too.
I will leave an appropriate tip.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, same here. I'm not stingy at all. A little more than what would be good.
Took your time, Father and George. I was just writing a letter to my dear Maria.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, make sure you tell her I love her from me. And
Oh yes, I will. And I will tell her about your.
Also let her know that you were briefly in a whorehouse.
Yes, why do you think I'm writing a letter? That's what I need to let her know. I need to confess.
Right.
Yes.
So
we're saving humanity, son.
Are you three
saving
up to
humanity?
now?
Yes.
Well, gentlemen, what do you think? Head back to the house?
Yeah.
We do have some information to share.
Yeah.
We'll see what Mandrake's dug up.
Sorry, one more thing. George, Jay told you the location of the hospital where Joy was sent as well.
Oh, okay.
Which is not far from here either. It's fair. It's
okay.
And I also crossed.
Do we have a full name?
So Magenta Joy was the one who.
Is that the actual name or is that the stage name?
That is the name she gives you.
Okay. Delightful.
Pretty.
Once we get back, update Mandrake.
Yes, yes, we should definitely update Mandrake. Hopefully he will be there, or whatever he was planning on doing today. And then we can talk about coming back. And
Yeah.
Okay, so to save on time, you return to the house. Share.
Joy Mingli. Sold to another flower house.
So the attacks are following Brady.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Someone with connections is.
Likely.
And this Ho Feng is a dangerous businessman in shipping.
You might have come uncomfortably close to this gentleman, Mandrake.
It's true. Sometimes people just don't pay attention to me because I'm a bit of a fuddy-duddy, but I mean,
Well, you kind of stick out like a sore thumb around here.
well, I mean, I walked right into Robert Houston's heart and soul.
Well,
He didn't
that's
even
true.
realize I was going to bash him over the head until it was too late.
So when we encounter raving narcissists, we know exactly who to send after them.
Yeah. I just go in and say, fascinating. Fascinating. Please tell me more. This wrench? Nothing. I'm just looking at it.
So we got Mr. Fang.
We've got a ship
Miss
called
Joy,
the Dark Mistress.
The Dark
Yep.
Mistress.
And
Well,
somebody
that don't
named
sound ominous at all.
Alfred Penhurst.
Penhurst.
Yes, we have Magenta Joy. We have the
That's a
other
lovely
flower.
name.
It's a rather intriguing name.
Penhurst.
We have.
Wonder if there's a
Troy
Penhurst in the. Well, we might give him the old Fang treatment here. Do you have a registry or phone book around here?
Yes, we've got
Yes.
those.
All right. Here.
You check through it. There is not a Penhurst.
You have
We don't know if it's P-I-N Hurst or P-E-N Hurst, so
I
neither
checked
one.
both.
Neither one.
I checked both. They're not in there.
It could be a fake name, like, Kaiser Soze.
Father, did you say there's another flower girl place as well?
Yeah, at 140 Lantern Street. That's where they got rid of Choi Mi Ling
And then the
for the
madam.
bat attack.
Were you able to track down anything on Lin Yan Wu?
No.
Nope.
Not there.
Can't say we did. I will say that it's come to my attention that the individuals who attacked our comrade might have been gang related.
Well, we thought they could be thugs.
Yeah, at least that's the impression that one of the flower girls got. I didn't press any further on that.
I think I went in the wrong direction. I was thinking about the flower girl connection with Madame Lin Yan Wu, but there's a museum connection as well. I could simply ask them how to contact her, and I could set up a meeting with her directly. Because of the bloated woman statue, perhaps she knows more about it. Of course, she could be the leader. Somehow I don't think
if
so.
that's the case, then she would know quite a bit, wouldn't she?
Indeed.
We also
it's-
have.
That's at least an option. I mean, the
It's
bad
worth a
guys
shot.
already know that some of us are here, no doubt.
We should find out where's that Rangoon, where Charlie Gray, that contact that Brady was going to go off and meet.
Yeah.
How far is Rangoon from here?
Far.
Ah,
Very, very, very far away.
that might have been a lie. He might have been saying
Yeah.
that just to protect Brady. I
Yeah,
have a
I
feeling
believe-
Brady's closer than we think that he is.
That's why I think we should go back. The problem is, I fucked it by saying that we might come back at night. I feel like I shouldn't have said that, and then we should have just turned up at night.
If you say your impression, though, was that the bartender was trying to protect him,
Yeah.
Yeah, it seemed like he actually was a friend of Brady.
that might mean that we can trust him to some extent. My God, the dog in the backyard.
Everybody make a sanity check.
George, how deep
Oh
was
shit! I
it?
gotta dig him up.
It's an Indian burial ground. No.
Oh, no.
Sorry for that break. And I forgot what I was saying.
Questioning the bartender and Brady.
Yeah, I think that he might know more than we think. The thing that frightens me here is this Ho Fang. If those were his men, and he's a dangerous individual, and one of our people, I feel though like we would have already had people come through the windows and shoot us all, or something.
Yes.
Well, they might not have
Perhaps.
fully pieced it together yet. I mean, maybe soon, but we might have a day or two before they start putting it together.
Maybe they think we're dangerous.
Even if
Well,
they
to be fair, we kind of are. And a gesture towards our pile of cameras.
I wonder if they know that we've been the ones well, not me directly, but we've been responsible for the thwarting of all of these cultists. The ones that were thwarted. We didn't thwart them all, obviously.
So, well, again, we're back to where we were. We're back to with more leads. we narrowed down on leads, and now we have more.
It's a spider's web we're caught in.
Very
Well,
true.
when you're fishing, generally more leads is a good thing.
Very true.
That's why they regulate the number of fishing lines you can use.
So I will see if I can make a connection with the madam through the museum. Now, it might still be that she is out of town, but there must be some way to contact her. After all, she's a businesswoman.
Yeah,
Or
it
she
must
says-
be.
You call the museum, and they are happy to write a letter of introduction for you.
Oh, excellent. Do they have any way to contact her? Phone number, secretary, central
They
office?
provide you a phone number you could call.
So I will call her central office, whatever it is.
Yeah, well, they give you her a phone in her house.
Okay.
And you call it, and this man picks up.
Good afternoon. I am hoping to arrange an appointment with Miss Linian Wu.
What is this regarding?
Well, I am associated with an American museum, and we saw a number of pieces at the museum here in Shanghai, and I wanted to ask her some questions. The museum itself was actually recommended her, as she is herself quite knowledgeable.
When would you like to have a meeting with?
Well, I've been told that she travels a lot, so when would be the soonest possible meeting?
One moment, please.
Oh, that's rather quick.
And he comes back. Tomorrow, 2 p.m.
Ah, tomorrow, 2 p.m. And at the address that I have here? Is that correct?
Yes.
Ah, tomorrow, 2 p.m. Thank you very much. My name is Mandrake Turtleton, by the way.
All right, we'll be expecting you,
Thank you.
Mr. Turtleton.
All right. Why am I writing down my own name?
In case you forget, you know.
Yeah. I have a meeting with her at 2 p.m. tomorrow.
That's quick.
So I need to write my obituary and my epitaph and my will and testament, make sure everything's in order.
You don't have that done already?
I do have that done already. I've had that done for years, of course. But somebody has to inherit all of that fabulous wealth that Fox left me. It's probably going to go to Armitage.
I hold up a paper that says Edward gets everything. See, I'm all set. Brother will get everything. All of crap in my house.
Now I need to come up with a lot of questions for her.
So what else would you like to do?
How much do we know about Jack Brady? Does he speak any? Do we know of any languages he speaks? No, darn.
English.
I'm just trying to think of how to get him a message, like an introduction letter we can just give the bartender.
Hmm.
Just
We know
to encourage a meeting.
we know that he was best friends with Carlisle, and that he
Yeah.
went on the mission with them as the I forget the technical term, but basically he took care of all the little details.
Yeah. He also befriended the flower girl.
We know that he didn't go into the pyramid with the Carlyles, and that he must have at some point run away from them, and that they're trying to get a hold of him because he knows too much. That's got to be what it is.
Is there a? I'm gonna pour over the newspaper clippings again. Is there a timing to the attacks on him?
All right, so you're looking. The attack at the Seaman's Club happened about a month ago. A week after that, there was the attack at the temple.
Okay.
And then a week after that, there was the attack on Lantern Street.
So he was at the Seaman's Club and was attacked and escaped. Went and talked to the guys at the temple. They were killed. He went to the whorehouse. Was attacked there.
So where is he now?
And how long has it been? You know, is he going to make a stupid mistake? And we got to get to him before they kill him.
Yep. And we got to make sure that we don't lead them to him.
Well, the thing is, going by
They're not going to do anything to us until we find him.
Well, going by the rate of attacks, like it seems to be happening once a week, there could be another one shortly.
Well,
We're not.
Unless Brady's finally learned to, actually keep his head low.
He's survived this long.
True.
Yes.
Supposedly.
Well,
Hopefully.
would it be worth spending the rest of the day? What time is it right now?
It's about 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock.
So it's approaching that time.
Would it be? I don't know if it'd be wise to go to the hospital, but maybe to the other flower girl, or Father, you and George could go to the other flower girl first.
what are we hoping to find out from the flower girl?
Well, we're trying to find the flower girl that Brady got close to.
To see if she knows something?
Yeah, if she knows whatever she knows.
What they were talking about, that should be what was it they were talking about when the thing attacked?
Well, they might not have been talking about anything.
They might not have been, but then we're not really going to learn anything because all we know is that Brady was there.
But if she was close to Brady, then she might know where she was.
It sounds to me like Brady's shooting his mouth off. That's how they're figuring out where he is. Don't you think?
Yeah. And if, that might be because implying that the flower girl sold him out.
Well, true. Well, if we don't go there, then we have the hospital. I don't think looking into the dark mistress or whatever is reasonable for this evening.
Might not even be there. It apparently goes back and forth to England a lot. That's a good question, is what are they moving back and forth? I know they said food and stuff like that. We don't care about food. But obviously they're shipping things around.
Did our previous companions who were in this group, did they stumble across anything?
Well, but the letter in Houston's office, didn't it say something? I don't know why. I seem to think that it said something about idols or...
Maybe they need to utilize artifacts to prep their space.
Yeah, they're
for
putting
whatever
something
ritual
into
they're planning.
place.
Yeah, I mean, it's a convenient way to at will ship around whatever you need, and in the meantime be having a legitimate shipping business. I mean, they may not always be shipping things of nefarious.
Right. I keep thinking in terms of a chessboard that this is the chaotic chessboard, and they're putting pieces in place around the world before January 14th.
I wonder if do you have to declare? I'm thinking some relatively innocuous that might need to be declared on a manifest that they've been using. Maybe, I don't know,
Art
maybe we could
piece.
look at the importation of chronometers. Actually, do you remember what kind of chronometer, what brand it was?
I'm not sure. I didn't have that much time.
Right, right.
There's probably not too many companies that produce them, though. I'm assuming that they have those to synchronize their time.
Yep.
So importing and exporting of chronometers wouldn't make much sense. But if they are moving artifacts around, that might be. They just have a crate that says art piece, and inside is a statue of some demonic monstrosity.
Right. I doubt the local government would care too much about artifact smuggling as long as they're getting paid.
Well, and even if it's not smuggling, it might be legitimate, and they just open it up and say, "Yep, it's a statue," and then just close it back up. Be smartest to do something that's not illegal.
Right.
Nobody would care. Of course, they could be shuffling around human sacrifices. We've had one of your earlier men was put into a crate, was he not? Before he was put into a pit.
That's right. Yeah,
Perhaps.
about that.
Although shipping around people, well, they are taking on food.
And it's human trafficking, and we've got prostitution, and we've got...
Do you think it would be wise to have a couple of us for the next night or two or three to go to the bar where Jack Brady frequented, just on the chance that we might be able to meet him?
Yeah.
And maybe even if we're not getting too far, even if the next couple of nights, we just keep going there and bartender might.
I guess my technique would be to make friends with the guy, and once he trusts you, then he might spill a lot of beans.
I would like to think we're on friendlier terms now, but I chatted his ear off. I don't know.
I hope that this...
For his sake, if there are people after him, and we start chatting up this bartender a lot.
Yeah, we might not want to chat him up too much, but just get drinks, sit in the corner. I mean, he would point us out to Brady if he knew Brady was in or near.
Yes, he doesn't have to say that he knows. We said that that conversation never happened, so we never spoke to him, nothing. Maybe we're going to the pub, we go sit down, as you said, in the back corner.
Yeah.
Have a tea or whiskey or whatever.
It wouldn't hurt.
Yeah.
Because what else can we do tonight? We might as well go there and just watch. We know the Stumbling Tiger Bar. It was a frequent place for Brady, so we might as well keep our eyes open. Sit in the corner. Plus, I could do with a cup of tea.
Yeah, I could do with a cup of that stronger tea.
I think I'll go with you.
Enough. All right.
So you're all going back to the bar?
I think so.
All right, so you get in the car, you drive through the city, you take a right onto Lantern Street, and the bar is on fire.
Fuck.
That. Is it recently on fire, or is it like, well?
You're looking at the flames. It's the whole building is engulfed. It's still standing. It's hard to tell how much. You see, people are coming out of buildings to look at it, so you get the impression that it's fairly recent that this happened.
Just keep going.
You don't want to ask anyone like what happened, if they saw anything weird in the sky.
Well, we know that anyone who was looking would see something weird in the sky.
Well, as you're all looking, you see that part of the fire wisps up.
Oh shit!
And shoots up into the heavens. So you can all give me sanity rolls.
God damn it!
As this flaming tendril thing wisps up.
I failed by 3. Yeah, I failed.
Damn. You never get used to seeing that.
17 failed by.
I have 44.
I should keep count.
And I rolled a 47.
I should keep count. That's is that my third flaming what's-my-jigget?
You've seen 2 of these before. One of them was red, one of them was blue.
Yep. Third flaming what's-my-jigget.
So if you failed, it's 1d6 sanity.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, jeez.
If you pass, it's 0.
Oh, jeez. That's 5.
No.
5.
Not my son, no.
Hey, Mandrake, can you help me roll up all the windows? I feel like we're going to have some screeching in here.
So, Sydney, you can give me an intelligence roll.
Oh, this is not a good time to have 70 intelligence.
Who's driving? That's
I'm
an
driving.
important question. Oh, thank God.
I rolled a 59. If only I could spend looks.
Okay, so Sydney,
go back
like these people, they've been telling you all these things, you've been reading these books, you've been interested in this, but now you've seen some horrific monstrosity from the stars ascend from this burning building and go to the heavens. So you're going to freak out just a little bit. So if you could roll 1d8.
Yeah, this is something I've always imagined I wanted to see, and now I'm seeing it. I'm going. I rolled a 1.
Faint.
No, that's.
Oh, that's okay. That's good.
Thank God he's not driving.
Oh, yeah. Thank God. Yeah, that would have been worse.
What do you mean? I am driving. No.
So Sydney is pointing, he's pointing, and then he collapses into your arms, Sterling.
Yeah, oh God. Oh, Sydney, it's okay.
They're real, Dad. They're real.
Yeah, you're right. It's fucking hellish nightmares. But you're going to be okay. You're fine. Yep. We're safe. George is getting us.
Before I fully faint, write it in my notebook.
Damn it. I wonder if Brady was there.
Tonight?
While we disaster seems to follow Brady.
He might have been.
Here's the thing.
Here, let's drive around the block and see if we can see anyone running for their lives.
Yeah, that might be a good idea. Maybe we can find him, hopefully.
There's also something else that seems kind of important. I don't think they know about us. Because we haven't been attacked. If they can do that,
they're not going to attack us until we find Brady.
Wait a minute. Brady might be running to his girl.
Okay, roll drive auto, George.
Oh, boy.
Chunks of flame. No.
Nope.
Oh. All right, you have a hard time getting around the crowd of people that is slowly swarming to watch the fire.
I'll punch them as we go by with my
Right, you eventually snake your way through. You get your way through, but it eats up a lot of time, and when you don't see anybody running from the premises.
Damn.
We should check.
Well, did you see anyone Jack Brady-ish in the crowd there?
Hard to see at night in the dark, and
he might be trying to get to his girl here.
Yeah, sure. We can drive that way. I don't think we should go in, but.
So you drive that way. You don't see anybody on the street. A handful of people now and then, but the further you get away from the bar, the less people there are, because everybody's kind of swarmed there. But it eventually thins out to just regular night traffic. And by the time you arrive at that other flower girl house, Sydney, you've come back to your senses. But yeah, you guys have not you've not seen Jack Brady on your drive here.
Is there like a back alley we could drive down?
It's a bit narrow for your car.
Okay.
Here, Sydney. Sydney, have some of this. It'll make you feel better.
My God, I have always wanted to believe.
First time, Sydney?
Yes, I've always believed in them, but actually seeing them, I was.
And with your first bout of madness from a Mythos entity, I believe you get 5 points of Cthulhu Mythos. From the Insane Insight.
Yes.
I don't remember the exact number, but I want to say it's 5, so that's what we're going with.
Yeah, I am at 6 Cthulhu. I don't know where I got the 1 from. I think I got it at some point in the last 2.
You got it from reading some books.
Yep.
Oh yes, reading through journal. Yeah.
Well,
gentlemen, I didn't see any sort of Elliot-shaped shadow skirting around here.
we need to see if we can find a means to learn some magical wards against such monsters. I don't know where we would begin.
Best be careful.
Didn't that old man,
Mr. Long?
Yes.
He certainly was able to drive that cat demon away while I was with his magic. Perhaps we should revisit him.
Well, we're here now at what, 140 Lantern Street. Shouldn't we go in and see if Choi Mi Ling is there? We could at least maybe find out why she was kicked out. Maybe it might have something to do with this. We're here at least.
All right.
Well, we're here, so if you don't mind, I will stay in the vehicle.
I'll stay in the vehicle with Sydney.
I will continue to write my letter to Maria.
All right, here, Sterling, you stay with him too. I'll go in and take care of this.
All right. You want us? You want a certain amount of time to pass before we get concerned?
Well, if you see me jumping out a window, get concerned.
Good luck, man.
Yep.
All right, so George, you get out of the car, you knock on the door.
Hey,
and
hand me $10.
Oh yeah, here.
And this older gentleman opens the door, and he's covered in these elaborate blue robes that are decorated with all sorts of symbols. I'll give you occult rolls or Chinese, your choice.
Oh, 16.
Oh, 08.
I nailed it. That's hard. Oh, good.
Yeah,
I got
an extreme also.
Okay, Mandrake, Sterling. His symbols are all bullshit. They don't mean anything.
Oh, I wasted an 08. I wasted an extra dice.
And what's the lady's name?
It's the man comes to the door. He says, a traveler, how can I help you today?
Well, howdy. I'm looking to meet a certain Miss Ping. She came recommended.
Did you say Miss Pink?
Ping.
Ping.
Was it Mei Ling?
Let's see, what's her name? Yeah, what's actually her name?
Oh, Choi Mi Ling.
Choi Mi Ling. A Miss Ling. Choi Mi Ling. Well, she came recommended.
And his eyes go up a little bit, and he says, "Oh well, I hate to disappoint you, but my little Choi has vanished."
Really?
Yes,
Right.
shortly after she joined my establishment. She just disappeared one night.
Huh. Well, that's unfortunate. How long ago was that?
Oh, this was a week or so ago.
Huh.
I mean, we treated her well. She had no reason to go. That silly girl. I told her that American boy was no good, but did she listen? No.
Wait. What American boy?
Shortly after she came, this boy came. He using you as a comparison, he goes taller and broader shouldered.
Huh.
Big.
That doesn't sound like any of my traveling buddies.
Big. I told him to keep away, and for the most part he did, but she was very upset and must have go running off into the streets to find him.
Huh. Well, that's unfortunate. Well, I can see you're a little distraught about it. Do you have some tea in there?
Tea is for paying customers only.
I'll pay. And I'll go inside.
All right, so a similar kind of situation as you
Yeah.
encountered in the last place. There's this.
Yeah, I'll just bullshit about
Main city.
architecture and blah 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 blah. Anyone else give me weird looks or?
No. They're all just trying to be, look
Accommodating.
pleasant and accommodating and chatting
Yeah.
with you. So you kind of start dropping hints at Choi Mi Ling, and they'll tell you she wasn't here very long. They only saw the American once, the night she came here. They saw him, but they didn't see him since. And the last person they saw, Choi Mi Ling, there was an older man who came, and the next day she was gone.
Really? Well, I don't like hearing about bad American apples, if you know what I mean. It gives the rest of us a bad name. We gotta keep our reputation upwards and such. Blah 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 blah. Finish my tea.
Blah,
Get
blah,
out.
Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
All right.
Right. Scoot over. I'm still driving.
Signed, Sydney Edwards. Close for letter.
Are you writing your last will and testament back there too?
It's in
No,
the dark. I don't know how he writes in the dark.
No, I'm writing it to my wife, Maria.
Oh, delightful. Well, Miss Ling is no longer here.
Oh,
She disappeared. Did I get a description of the older guy?
Yeah, he was
Okay.
he's Chinese. He's a local. Older man, thinnish graying hair, well dressed, very sharp suit.
Did he have fangs?
Sydney and I were discussing his robes. You know what's written all over his robes? Bullshit.
Fucking nothing.
Really?
I don't know.
Fuck all. Sweet fuck all.
Anyways,
That seems that seems kind of appropriate for that establishment, because you'll get a lot of tourists who don't speak the language.
I'm kind of curious. How far away is Miss Lin Yan Ho? Or Lin Yan Wu? Is she somewhere in Is she somewhere nearby? Is the place where she lives nearby?
No, so you guys are currently say in the northern part of town.
Uh-huh.
and she lives in kind of the southwest part of town, and that French quarter. So she's close to where you are staying in that general area of larger homes.
I asked because I was just going to suggest that we casually drive by so I can see where I'm going tomorrow.
Okay, so I mean that's on your way back. You can take a little short detour. So when you drive by, how the building is set up. You get the impression that there's like a courtyard in the middle of it.
It's an elegant house, yes.
It has very high walls. There is a gate, and you see that there's a little guardhouse there.
Oh, she has wealth. Yes.
That is manned. There's a person in there who looks very sharp and attentive.
Any odd black limousines sitting around?
There are cars.
We are not driving by creepery.
No, we're going fast. We're going very fast.
Yeah, you drive by. So at a quick glance, you see this gate. It's like so. The big house in the middle, high wall around it. There's a gate with a guard, and parked behind the gate there are several cars.
We should get on Google Earth and see if they got some sort of sacrificial circle in there.
Possibly, yeah. See it from above.
Yeah. That's totally how that works in the 1930s.
Well, I mean, I am still connected to the Yithian, and that all made complete sense to me.
All right, so you return home. As Sydney tries to go to sleep, he has nightmares.
I make him a nice nightcap.
Tendrils.
Yes,
In the sky.
yes. I'm also thinking. I'm trying to think about my wife whilst getting rid of the image of what I saw, but I cannot shake it.
And as you've reconvened at the night, kind of pondering all the things that you've learned today, that is where we're going to leave it.
Okay, because I was going to say I'm sleeping in a position so that I can run quickly if something breaks through a window or
a running start for your sleep.
I have two cameras by the bedside, so I can just roll out and have lightning guns akimbo.
and a large bucket of water.
Yep.
Our players included Brian Daly, Stuart Lively, Josh Harwood, and myself, with Morgan Llewellyn as the keeper of the secrets. We have a Discord server where you can chat with our other members. You can set up private games. You can learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastering. There's a link below. We're currently producing up to 4 shows a week with music and sound effects added in post-production in order to create a richer listener experience. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Podbean or iTunes. The costs involved with the show are provided almost entirely by our patrons. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. We have a new patron. Lindsay Thompson has pledged $5 a month to our club. Thank you very much, Lindsay. If you would like to help support our show, please visit our Patreon account. Just $1 to a month helps us a lot. You can find a link in the description below. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows, and leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answering any questions you might have. This is Tom Rayleigh, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure in the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck, good gaming.